All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Tamilnadu Dr. MGR Medical University's convocation this morning. Prime Minister to also inaugurate second Khelo India National Winter Games at 11:50 a.m. today. President's rule imposed in Puducherry following collapse of Congress-led government. Retirement age of Tamil Nadu government employees raised to 60 years. Tamil Nadu government decides to promote all students of class 9, 10 and 11 to next class without exams. World Health Organization thanks India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for sharing COVID-19 vaccine worldwide. Global terror financing watchdog FATF decides to keep Pakistan on its grey list till June this year. Australia passes law aimed at making Google and Facebook pay for news content on their platforms. And in cricket, India beat England by 10 wickets in third test in Ahmedabad to take 2-1 lead in 4-match series. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the 33rd convocation of the Tamilnadu Dr. MGR Medical University at 11 a.m. today through video conferencing. A total of 17,591 candidates will be conferred with degrees and diplomas in the convocation. Tamil Nadu Governor Banwarilal Purohit will be present on the occasion. The university is named after the former Chief Minister Dr. M.G. Ramachandran. It has a total of 686 affiliated institutions under its umbrella, encompassing the disciplines of medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, nursing, Ayush, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, and allied health sciences. These institutions are spread across the length and breadth of Tamil Nadu, including 41 medical colleges, 19 dental colleges, 48 Ayush colleges, 199 nursing colleges, 81 pharmacy colleges, and the rest being specialty postdoctoral medical and allied health institutions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the central government's commitment to port-led development can be seen through the Sagarmala scheme. He said Tamil Nadu is making a major contribution to India's industrial growth. The Prime Minister was speaking in Coimbatore after inaugurating a slew of infrastructure and housing projects for western and southern regions of Tamil Nadu worth over 12,000 crore rupees.
The Government of India's commitment to port-led development can be seen through the Sagarmala scheme. About 575 projects at a total cost of over 6 lakh crore rupees have been identified for implementation during 2015 to 2035 period. These works cover port modernization, new port development, port connectivity enhancement, port link industrialization and coastal community development.
Mr. Modi said one of the basic needs for the industry to grow is a continuous power supply, and he was happy to dedicate to the nation 2 major power projects and lay the foundation for 1 more power project.
Tamil Nadu is making a major contribution to India's industrial growth. I'm happy to dedicate to the nation 2 major power projects and lay the foundation for 1 more power project. The 709 megawatt solar power project is developed by Neyveli Lignite Corporation India Limited in Tirunelveli, Thoothukudi, Ramanathapuram and Virudunagar districts. Another 1,000 megawatt thermal power project of NLC will be of a great benefit to Tamil Nadu. Over 65% of power generated in this project will be given to Tamil Nadu.
Mr. Modi called Coimbatore a city of industry and innovation and added that the development works that are being unveiled yesterday will benefit Coimbatore and the entire Tamil Nadu. The Prime Minister also paid floral tributes at the portraits of late Chief Ministers M.G. Ramachandran and Jayalalitha. Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of various development projects worth 3,023 crore rupees in Puducherry. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Modi assured that the central government will provide all possible support for the development of the Union territory. The Prime Minister laid the foundation stone for 4-laning of NH 45A covering Karaikal district at a cost of 2,426 crore rupees.
It would make you happy that the foundation stone to 4-lane the National Highway 45A is being laid. This is a 56-kilometer Sattanathapuram, Nagapattinam, the stretch covering Karaikal district. Certainly, connectivity will improve, economic activity will pick speed. At the same time, it will improve access to the holy Saniswaran temple. It will also provide easy interstate connectivity to the Basilica of our Lady of Good Health and Nagore Dargah.
Puducherry has been placed under the President's rule days after the Congress-led government collapsed after several resignations. The Home Ministry yesterday issued a notification of imposing the President's rule in the Union Territory. President Ramnath Kovind suspended the Puducherry Assembly as well. The Legislative Assembly of the Union Territory is now placed under suspended animation. The Assembly polls are due in the Union Territory shortly. Tamilnadu Chief Minister Edapadi K. Palaniswamy has announced that the retirement age of state government employees has been raised from 59 to 60 years. Making a suo motu statement in the Legislative Assembly, he said the order will be applicable to the employees of the government and government-aided schools, legal and constitutional bodies, government sectors, local bodies, commissions, boards and unions. He said all those who are in service and those who will retire on the 31st of May this year will be covered under the announcement.
Tamil Nadu government has decided to promote the students of classes 9, 10 and 11 to the next class without any examinations in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Minister Edapadi K. Palaniswamy made a suo motu announcement in this regard at the State Assembly yesterday. He said all the students of classes 9, 10 and 11 are declared passed considering the extraordinary situation faced by the students and the teachers this year and the requests of the parents and that of the views of the academicians. More from our correspondent.
Students of classes 9, 10 and 11 standards were relieved on hearing the decision taken by the government. It was a difficult time to learn the subjects though they were taught through Kalvi channel, the only education channel launched by the government, or they had to learn through online since the schools were closed due to pandemic. Students hailing from economically backward families and who could not afford to learn through cell phones had to adapt themselves to a new way to complete their studies. Teachers also had to rush through the syllabus and assessing the students was a difficult job. Still, the Federation of Private School Associations accused the government to stop politicizing education of school students for gaining political mileage. Joy, AN News, Coimbatore.
The state will conduct examinations for Class 12, for which the timetable has been released by the Tamil Nadu Directorate of Government Examinations. The exams will be conducted between 3rd and 21st of May. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio on Sunday. It will be the 74th episode of the monthly radio program. In a tweet, Mr. Modi has urged people to share inspiring anecdotes for this program. People can share their views in the Namo app or MyGov Open Forum. They can also dial the toll-free number 1800-117800 and record their message for the Prime Minister in either Hindi or English. People can also give a missed call on 1922 and follow the link received in SMS to directly give their suggestions to the Prime Minister. Some of the recorded messages may become part of the broadcast. The views and suggestions can be given till today. Mann Ki Baat will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan and also on AIR News website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will be repeated at 8 in the evening.
Agriculture Minister Narendra Tomar has said that the central government is putting in due diligence in developing the bamboo sector. He said bamboo can be a key crop to double farmers' income, enhance employment opportunities and improve the livelihood of the people, especially in the northeast region. Mr. Tomar was virtually addressing the inaugural session of National Consultation on Opportunities and Challenges for Bamboo in India yesterday. Nearly 95.81 lakh farmers have been benefited from the ongoing Kharif marketing season procurement operations with MSP value of over 1,24,826 crore rupees. The Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution in a statement said that paddy procurement for Kharif 2020-21 is continuing smoothly in procuring states and union territories. So far, over 661 lakh metric tons of paddy have been procured, which shows an increase of 16.48% against the last year's corresponding purchase of 567.60 lakh metric tons. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Tamilnadu Dr. MGR Medical University's Convocation this morning. Prime Minister to also inaugurate second Khelo India National Winter Games at 11:50 a.m. today. President's rule imposed in Puducherry following collapse of Congress-led government. Retirement age of Tamil Nadu government employees raised to 60 years. Tamil Nadu government decides to promote all students of class 9th, 10th and 11th to the next class without exams. World Health Organization thanks India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for sharing COVID-19 vaccines worldwide. Global Terror Financing Watchdog FATF decides to keep Pakistan on its grey list till June this year. Australia passes law aimed at making Google and Facebook pay for news content on their platforms. And in cricket, India beat England by 10 wickets in the third test in Ahmedabad to take 2-1 lead in the 4-match series. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver the inaugural address at the second Khelo India National Winter Games at 11:50 a.m. today through video conferencing. The games will begin today at Gulmarg and will continue till the 2nd of March. The event has been organized by Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports in collaboration with the Jammu and Kashmir Sports Council and the Winter Games Association of Jammu and Kashmir. The sports activities will include alpine skiing, Nordic ski, snowboarding, ski mountaineering, ice hockey, ice skating, ice stock, etc. 27 states, union territories and boards are sending their teams to participate in the games. Our Srinagar correspondent has filed this report.
World-famous ski resort Gulmarg is about to host the second edition of Khelo India Winter Sports Games apart from 7 categories of competitive games. The event also includes many recreational games that will serve as engaging activities for locals, tourists besides the visiting athletes. The event will commence with cultural presentations and participation of many dignitaries. Apart from over 1,000 athletes is also expected. We talked to media in charge for this event, Mr. M.H. Bhatt, and he said,
अभी प्रोग्राम जो हमारा पहला है नाइट स्कीइंग का जो डेमो वगैरह होगा जिसमें डिग्निटरीज जस्ट अबाउट टू अराइव. देखिए इसमें स्नो स्कीइंग है, स्नो शू रनिंग है जो इवेंट रहता है काइंड ऑफ मैराथन 10-12 किलोमीटर का रहता है. प्लस इसमें आइस स्केटिंग होगी, आइस स्टॉक होगा एंड देयर आर सम अदर recreational games like rugby वो भी खेली जाएगी. अभी तक जो रजिस्ट्रेशन है almost 24 से 25 states and union territories have confirmed their participation and most of the athletes are almost arrived.
Sunil Cole, AR News, Srinagar.
The Prime Minister will inaugurate the India Toy Fair 2021 tomorrow via video conferencing. Toys play a significant part in the development of a child's mind and also help improve psychomotor and cognitive skills in children. The 4-day event aims to bring together all stakeholders, including buyers, sellers, students, teachers, and designers on a virtual platform to create sustainable linkages and encourage dialogue for the overall development of the industry.
The leather toys of Devas, Indore and Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh are well known. Manufacturers and artisans of the leather toys from the state are also participating in the first ever virtual toy fair. Our correspondent has more details.
Leather toy manufacturers expressed view that earlier handmade leather toys were mostly manufactured in the city and exported world over in a big way. But gradually China took over. Leather toy artisan Rais Khan from Indore said that the India Toy Fair is giving them opportunity to explore possibilities of exporting leather toys again to world.
इंडिया से एक्सपोर्ट भी कर सकते हैं, इंडिया में सेलिंग कर सकते हैं और चाइना का माल जो इंपोर्ट हो रहा है वो धीरे धीरे कम हो जाएगा और खत्म कर देंगे हम अगर ये फेयर से हमें फायदा हुआ तो.
Toy fair will not only counter the import of Chinese toys and encourage local artisans, but also promote the revival of leather toys by developing a toy manufacturing cluster in Malwa region of Madhya Pradesh. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
ग्लोबल टॉय इंडस्ट्री 7 लाख करोड़ रुपए से भी अधिक की है. टीम अप फॉर टॉयज.
The Government of India is organizing India's first ever, the India Toy Fair. Indian local toy manufacturers march forward for Atmanirbhar Bharat. It's time to get vocal for your remarkable local. From 27th February to 2nd March, must come forward to get registered online at www.theindiatoyfair.in.
Director General of World Health Organization Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus has thanked India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for supporting vaccine equity. He said India's commitment to COVAX and sharing of COVID-19 vaccine doses with other countries is helping over 60 countries worldwide. Dr. Tedros underlined that this act of vaccine equity by India has helped the recipient countries to start vaccination program for their health workers and other priority groups. He wished other countries as well to follow India's example.
Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare Dr. Harshvardhan has said that India is witnessing a huge reform process under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with special focus for the northeastern states. He said the programs implemented over the years in the northeast itself justify the commitment of the Prime Minister. He was speaking during a brief interaction with officials of the Christian Institute of Health Sciences and Research. He reached Dimapur on a 3-day visit to Nagaland yesterday. Affirming that Modi government has a huge focus on the health sector, the minister said that Ayushman Health Scheme has become one of the most ambitious programs. The health minister will lay the foundation stone of the 2nd Medical College of the state today at District Hospital Mon in presence of Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio. Director of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, Dr. Randeep Guleria, has said that urged those above 60 years of age to register themselves on Co-Win app for vaccination against corona.
60 साल की उम्र ज्यादा हो या 45 साल से की उम्र ज्यादा हो और जिसको कोमॉर्बिडिटीज हो वो कोविन ऐप के थ्रू भी अपने आप को रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं या देख सकते हैं कि उनका नाम ऑलरेडी उस ऐप में रजिस्टर्ड है या नहीं है और रजिस्ट्रेशन होने के लिए वो अपना जो फोटो आइडेंटिटी कार्ड है उसके साथ अपने आप को रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं. लेकिन कई लोग ऐसे हैं जिनके पास स्मार्टफोन नहीं हो तो वो जो वैक्सीनेशन साइट्स पे हैं वहां पे जाके अपने आप को वॉक इन करके कागज हैं वो साथ ले जाएं, फोटो आई कार्ड साथ ले जाएं, वहां पर भी उनको रजिस्टर किया जाएगा. उनका पूरा डेटा जो है वो कोविन ऐप में अपलोड किया जाएगा. जो बुजुर्ग लोग हैं जो गांव में रहते हैं जिनके मुश्किल होगी आने के लिए उसमें वॉलंटियर्स और वहां गांव में जो लोग हैं वो भी हेल्प करेंगे उनकी रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए और उनको वैक्सीन साइट पे लाने के लिए इसका भी इंतजाम किया जा रहा है.
In Uttar Pradesh, sessions for the 2nd dose of COVID vaccination for health workers will be organized today in all the districts. More than 1,76,000 beneficiaries were vaccinated yesterday in the state. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
This vaccination drive was for frontline workers and also as a mop-up session for left-out health workers. Both kind of vaccines were used during the vaccination and all beneficiaries are reported to be safe and in healthy condition. After vaccination, the beneficiaries got information regarding the completion of the vaccination on their registered mobile numbers. They also got a link through which they can download the certificate of vaccination and save it as print format or in digital locker. All those who were vaccinated yesterday will be given the second dose of vaccine on 25th of March. Very soon, the vaccination drive for people aged between 45 to 60 years and suffering with serious diseases will start in state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Bihar government has issued guidelines for resumption of academic activities for students of class 1st to 5th from 1st of March in all government and private schools. The schools have been asked to allow only 50% of students and hold classes for each batch on alternative days. The standard operating procedures SOPs include strict adherence to COVID safety measures like use of masks, hand sanitizers and physical distancing on the school premises. All government school teachers have been instructed to remain present at their respective schools. No sick teacher or student will be allowed to enter inside the school premises. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be in West Bengal for a day-long visit today. He is scheduled to address a public meeting at Balurghat High School ground in South Dinajpur district. Later, he will participate in BJP's Parivartan Yatra procession from Arya Samiti Club to Thana in Balurghat Assembly constituency in South Dinajpur district.
Union Minister and senior BJP leader Smriti Irani will also be in West Bengal for a day-long visit today. She is scheduled to participate in the BJP's Parivartan Yatra at Sonarpur North constituency in South 24 Parganas. She will also hold roadshow in Sonarpur South before attending the Yatra at Canning East in South 24 Parganas district. Global terror financing watchdog FATF has decided to keep Pakistan on its grey list. Addressing an online press conference from Paris, FATF President Marcus Player said Pakistan is yet to complete its action plan to overcome deficiencies in its combating of money laundering and terror financing. FATF said Islamabad should demonstrate effective implementation of targeted financial sanctions against all designated terrorists and their associates. FATF also said that Pakistan courts must give effective, decisive and proportionate punishment to those involved in terrorism. It also said Pakistan must have an effective system to deal with terror financing. Once Pakistan completes 3 unfulfilled tasks, the FATF will verify and take decision on Islamabad's present status in its June plenary. The deadline given to Pakistan has already expired and it asked the country to address tasks as quickly as possible. The FATF is an intergovernmental body set up in 1989 to combat money laundering, terror financing and other related threats to the international financial system. Currently, it has 39 members. Pakistan has been on the grey list since June 2018.
Australia has passed a world-first law aimed at making Google and Facebook pay for the news content on their platforms. The legislation had been fiercely opposed by the US tech giants, with Facebook blocking all news content to Australians over the row. Facebook agreed to reverse its decision after robust negotiations with the government, which led to changes to the law to address some of their concerns. The law is seen as a test case for similar regulation around the world. The amended legislation, the News Media Bargaining Code, was passed by Australia's House of Representatives yesterday after going through the Senate. Facebook and Google had earlier argued that the law fundamentally misunderstood how the Internet works. The news code encourages tech giants and news organizations to negotiate payment deals between themselves and commits Facebook and Google to invest tens of millions of dollars in local digital content. If negotiations fail, an independent arbitrator can set the price they pay domestic media, something analysts say benefits the news groups. India crushed England by 10 wickets in the third cricket test at Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad yesterday. India are now leading the 4-match test series 2-1. India achieved the victory target of 49 runs with a huge 6-hit by Rohit Sharma. Without losing any wicket in their second innings on day 2 of the match, openers Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill led India to this remarkable victory. Earlier, England were bundled out for 81 runs in their second innings. This is the lowest ever test score of England against India. Local boy Akshar Patel claimed 5 wickets while Ravichandran Ashwin bagged 4 and Washington Sundar got 1. Ashwin has become the fastest Indian to pick 400 wickets. India were all out for 145 runs in their first innings. For the hosts, Rohit Sharma was the highest scorer with 66 runs. For the visitors, Joe Root claimed 5 wickets while Jack Leach bagged 4 and Jofra Archer got 1. Indian fans are very happy with India's grand victory over England in the third cricket test. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Indian players have celebrated their victory and Ravichandran Ashwin's 400 wickets record with a special cake in Ahmedabad hotel. Ashwin makes a history by completing his 400 test wickets. Man of the match Akshar Patel also took 10 plus wickets on his home turf. This was the 22nd instance that test match not lasted for even 2 full days. Cricket lovers in Ahmedabad are very happy with the outcome that put India 2-1 ahead in the 4th test series. But the cricket lovers are not happy with the England the way they concede defeat. Now the fans are expecting some fight back from England players in the 4th test, which will be played on the same venue. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for today. National capital Delhi will have a maximum temperature of around 32 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature was 16 degrees, while some parts of the NCR saw shallow fog. However, Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Chennai's temperature will vary between 22 and 32 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. Srinagar may witness thunderstorm with rain and maximum temperature will be just 8 degrees Celsius. Jammu is likely to have cloudy sky with light rain. Leh is likely to have light snow and maximum temperature of around 6 degrees as the minimum temperature was -4 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will also have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Muzaffarabad will witness thunderstorm with rain with temperature hovering between 8 and 16 degrees Celsius. Dehradun is likely to observe thunderstorm with hail.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. All the dailies have their front page headline on extradition of Nirav Modi to India. UK court allows fugitive Nirav Modi's extradition, writes the Tribune. Government to monitor OTT content, tighter norms in place for social media, notes The Hindu. The Asian Age reports India's growth projection upped by UK-based rating agency. The paper says 13.7% growth in financial year 2022 projected by Moody's. Pakistan agrees to keep LOC calm, will honour 2003 ceasefire pact without restricting Indian forces from carrying out anti-terrorist, anti-infiltration operations in J&K, states the Pioneer. An Economic Times headline observes in Australia passes law making Facebook, Google pay for news. Indian papers ask Google for 85% ad revenue share, notes the Times of India. Big Bird Day, observed every year on February 21st, records a marginal dip in species across Delhi NCR due to warmer temperature. 244 species spotted on Big Bird Day, states Hindustan Times. And finally, helping to curb pollution in the city, Delhi government begins process to convert official fleet to electric in 6 months, writes the Indian Express.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address Tamilnadu Dr. MGR Medical University's Convocation this morning. Prime Minister to also inaugurate second Khelo India National Winter Games at 11:50 a.m. today. President's rule imposed in Puducherry following collapse of Congress-led government. Retirement age of Tamil Nadu government employees raised to 60 years. Tamil Nadu government decides to promote all students of class 9, 10 and 11 to next class without exams. World Health Organization thanks India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for sharing COVID-19 vaccine worldwide. Global Terror Financing Watchdog FATF decides to keep Pakistan on its grey list till June this year. Australia passes law aimed at making Google and Facebook pay for news content on their platforms. And in cricket, India beat England by 10 wickets in third test in Ahmedabad to take 2-1 lead in 4-match series. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.